Good morning. Welcome, Equine Edge Fairgrounds Daily coverage. We missed a couple days late last week. And then sorry, I meant to get here race one. Thunderhawk wins race one. Silver Halo was the other runner. It was really between those two. I did play a daily double into the 7 in the Twin Spires tournament, so we will see what happens there. But Jose had some pace to chase with Thunderhawk and was really much the best. A claimer here, they've all won once. Lady Orion's taking a big drop, though. And I always tell people with Equine Edge, one of the first things I do, I always like to watch the race sim. There looks to be some cheap speed down to the inside. Perfect Union might fit here, just won the maiden, and you can see the 3-horse taking money, but the 7-horse romps here on the race sim. Leg scratch, yeah. it was I don't know. My kids are sick. My youngest been out of school all week, man. It's just been kind of crazy times, and I didn't get a chance to I didn't play a lot. I played a little bit, but was I don't know. I didn't feel like I was seeing things all that great. And I I had potential 6 singles on the card today, so I was like, well, I guess I should do a video. We missed race one. That was the first one, but I mean, the 7-horse here win by over 5 lengths on the race sim. Daily double was paying, I think, was around 3-1. Not bad. And to me, it looked like the 7 maybe over the 2, but I don't know. I thought the 7 Lady Orion was a single. You can see for E user down here, I'll have my analysis. But Tom Amos, Hunter Ray rides, so apprentice board. We tried this with the other apprentice, I don't know, a week ago, and it didn't pan out. But I think it'll pan out here. Hunter's run for Tom. He gives the apprentice a good mount here, I think, on the drop off the layoff. It's really not a great group, and in for a tag for Richard Emmett. I think the 7 just better, G better than this group. Comes off the layoff, but I think that's okay. Drops 8 points in strength of race. Ran a good race right there prior to the layoff in the mud, but we will find out shortly. 20 minutes. Race 3, double-edged sword. If I remember correctly, this is Paco riding on the rail with speed. He might clear off, and I thought also could be a potential single and be long gone. I didn't have as much confidence here as the first 2 races, though. If he does duel, this race sets up for a broad group, anywhere between the 3, 8, 6, and 5, in my opinion. So if you weren't singling the 1, I thought it was a little bit wide open, but double-edged sword has a big pace number. Paco right for Brinkman. They won 3 strength the race. This is just an easier group than Delta, showing up as a 56. So stretches out to 6 furlongs, been a lot more successful at 5. But I think has the ability to run them off their feet. If he doesn't and they come closing, the 3 and 8 are closers, in my opinion. So not quite as much confidence there as the first 2 races, but I thought the 1 you might be able to daily double into. I honestly don't even have an opinion on race 4. I really have struggled all meet with the maidens because I don't know how these horses are working. And kind of crazy stuff's been happening. So I don't know. A Flash and Dash might be a firster that can run. And Classy Beach, I thought was a player, but many of these I thought could win. I was 18256, but I'm not playing a horizontal. But it's tough for me without having any amount of work video. But we will keep going. Race 5, I thought it was narrowed down to these 4, so we'll watch the race sim. Stake bread allowance, optional claim. Hey Jade, gonna be a short price, but I thought also might be a single if you're playing the pick 5 or pick 6. I think Jose gonna have a potential day today. He's on a lot of live runners. He won that first race. If I remember correctly, he's also riding Hey Jade here. I think this is the Maggie Moss runner. If I remember, it is for Tom Amoss. One 4 back and then has been racing at this state bred stakes level and not winning. But finds I think a softer group here than has been facing. Clear as bell, burned money in a couple different allowance and state bred stakes at Evangeline. I mean, this horse fits Paco, but I thought Hey Jade was the likely winner here. And you actually have a mare who entered into this race for the place. She's been facing tougher. Those races come up tougher, so she might run a good race. Would be my only comment, but I thought the 6 could be a potential single win bet. I like the daily double here into the 7. So this is kind of a tough race, but it's a Jose double. He riding Dale's Bluff. That's where I went on top. That's our top genetic strength rating on the turf. I think the speed completely stops here. I will tell you, when I handicapped this, the win percents did confuse me a little bit because it showed the race wide open. But from a GSR and strength of race, to me, this points at the 7, who doesn't need the lead. And actually, here with Stepping Stones on the race sim, Stepping Stones just broke the maiden. I'm going to try to beat at a short price. Just broke the maiden. Joe Sharp, Paco, first time out, got the win. But I think Dale's Bluff, has the experience, has been running at this level, has run well, a second and a third, 3 and 4 back off that win. They had a blinkers last out, has shown some ability to sit right off. So I think with the speed up front today, I think maybe sets a little bit of better trip from the outside. And I think you get a good price off that daily double. And I would daily double out of this race as well. But I like Dale's Bluff here. I thought the other players were the 615, but I like the 7. Race 7, I daily double out into the 2 and the 5, depending on the prices, but I really like the 5, Evanescence. That is another Jose runner for Eddie this time. Comes out of both very tough 82 strength of races last spring back at Churchill. They cut back to 6, won at Churchill at 6. Finds a much, much more comfortable spot as we let me get rid of that. It just make that longer. But if you're an E user, you can see my analysis there. But I really wish you could watch these videos, but we can't. So I just relying on, that's a good work back on December 16th. That's obviously a very strong work back on January 5th and continually produces strong works all the way up to January 30th. I mean, she absolutely looks fit and ready to run for Eddie. And Jose lands here versus he did ride for Tom 2 back on Moto. The 2, I think you might get caught in a speed duel with the 6, and I think the 5 could sit the trip. So like the 7 into the 5 daily double there. And that's really strongest bets. I thought that it might be a little bit chalky today, was my opinion. This turf race, I honestly, I don't really know. 10-2-7-6. But, it's our strongest GSRs. It's the picks. I would watch the tote, though. I do think the speed probably backs up. Again, it's just tough for me without having work videos to really understand how fit these horses are. But not strong opinion there. You can see the 3 really kind of runs off is the speed here. But I think the speed backs up to one of these runners here. If we flip, sorry. So the 2 could set the trip for Sharif, which the E morning line really likes for follow-up. So I'm assuming that horse can take a lot of action. And then you have the 6 closing, the 10 closing a little bit. The 8 runs a good race on the race sim, but 10-2-7-6 for me. Not strong opinion, though. And then in the last, I thought that this was probably a 3-horse race. Maybe even the 2 could be a little bit of a lock. That's where I landed on top. I was 281. But The 8 gonna show, the 2 gonna be probably closest to the pace I would expect. There's not, I think, a ton of speed here. I think one of the horses I cut was probably Cheap Speed, but the 8 gets a much better post with a couple of scratches. The Apprentice, right there, he has a chance to win this race. Jameson Mudd, he only, I think, has one race all meet. You can see he wins the race and probably be a good price because the 2 gonna be a short price. Sweet Aurora G comes from much tougher, takes the drop in here to State Bred 10 for West. Yeah, Mudd riding just 1 for 74 at the meet, where Jose riding the 2, and that's where I landed on top. All right, y'all. That's all I got. We'll watch we got race 2 in 12 minutes. Good luck. As I mentioned, the 7 looked tough there. And press your opinion today. It does look pretty chalky. Of course, Gary. And Gary, I'll show you my note sheet. Anybody else welcome to message me as well. I just put a grid together. I'm happy to share it. I share it with whoever really asks. So good luck. Press your opinion. I think Jose has a day. We'll see you tomorrow.